In a cosy little house on Maple Street lived the Thompson family. They were a cheerful bunch, always bustling around, busy with their own adventures. Mr. Thompson worked from home, balancing phone calls and emails, while Mrs. Thompson tended to her garden and prepared their meals with love. The two children, Mia and Jake, filled the home with laughter and joy as they played together or worked on school projects. One sunny morning, everything changed when the Thompsons decided to adopt a pet. If you enjoy this video, please like the video and subscribe for more, and tell me where you're watching from today. I always find it awesome to see where all my viewers are watching from. Let's get back to the video. After much discussion, they excitedly agreed on a kitten. They imagined all the fun they would have with their new furry friend, playing games, cuddling during movie nights, and even sharing snacks. Just like every family who welcomes a pet into their lives, they were eager to bring home joy. They visited the local animal shelter, where Mia spotted an adorable tiny kitten hiding in a corner. This kitten was small enough to fit in the palm of Mia's hand and had soft grey fur that looked like wisps of clouds. Its big blue eyes sparkled with curiosity as it peered at them from its cage. The volunteers explained that this little creature was only a few weeks old and had been abandoned by its mother. It was shy but had a gentle spirit. "Oh my gosh, look how cute it is," Mia exclaimed with wide eyes filled with wonder. Mrs. Thompson smiled softly as she picked up the kitten for the first time. The tiny creature snuggled close to her chest, its heart racing as if it could feel the warmth of this new family. "I think we should name her Nibbles," Jake suggested mischievously, because the kitten playfully nibbled on his fingers when he held her. With hearts full of excitement and hope, they adopted Nibbles. Once they arrived home, everyone rushed to show her around their new space. Nibbles timidly explored each room but quickly discovered she didn't fit in with their hectic lifestyle. As days turned into weeks, life continued at an energetic pace in the Thompson household. Nibbles started to find her place among them, but not without challenges. Despite her adorable antics like chasing after dangling strings or tumbling over harmless objects, the family often chuckled at how small and silly she was when compared to their lives. "Look at her trying to climb that pillow," Jake laughed one afternoon while he watched her tumble back onto the carpet after misjudging her jump. Mia brushed back her hair and giggled too. "She's so tiny. It's like she thinks she can take on anything." Though Nibbles brought smiles to their faces daily with her playful behaviour, there was an unspoken truth among the family members. They didn't take her very seriously because of her size. They viewed her more as a funny little toy than a real pet capable of meaningful actions. Whenever they had guests over or shared stories about pets at school, most would chuckle upon hearing about Nibbles. "That tiny kitten can't do anything important," they'd say lightheartedly, often poking fun at how little she really was compared to bigger dogs or cats that were more impressive in size. Little did they know that Nibbles watched these interactions carefully. Despite being often neglected during important moments or family discussions, she paid attention to everything happening around her. Every laugh encouraged playfulness within her tiny heart. But underneath those playful paws lay something remarkable, a quiet strength that would soon reveal itself in unexpected ways. As spring approached, wildflowers bloomed outside the window while inside laughter echoed through every room of the house. The Thompsons loved having fun together, but sometimes forgot about their tiny companion's feelings amidst all the excitement. Yet even under all those laughs directed towards such a tiny creature, there remained a spark of something special inside Nibbles, a flicker of bravery that was just waiting for its moment to shine. Nibbles may have been small compared to everyone in the house, but within her lay an unyielding spirit that would soon surprise them all. In the Thompson household, life flowed with a cheerful rhythm that included laughter, love, and plenty of adventure. Each morning began with the sun streaming through the kitchen window, illuminating the breakfast table where the family gathered. Mr. Thompson often read the newspaper while sipping his coffee, Mrs. Thompson prepared delicious pancakes, and Mia and Jake eagerly discussed their plans for the day. "Guess what, Mum? Today is our class field trip to the Science Museum," Mia exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "That sounds amazing! You'll learn so much," Mrs. Thompson replied, flipping a pancake onto a plate. Jake chimed in with his own excitement, "And I can't wait to show everyone that I can name all the dinosaurs." Amidst this joyful chaos, Nibbles weaved between their legs, her tiny paws pattering softly against the wooden floor. Although her presence was often dismissed, she was always nearby, observing as the family went about their routine. While they hurriedly ate their breakfast and shared stories of school, Nibbles found herself entertained by the fluttering moths outside the window or the sunlight that danced across the floor. After breakfast, Mia and Jake dashed to their rooms to gather their school supplies. Nibbles decided it was time for a little adventure of her own. She playfully hopped onto Mia's backpack and curled up for a nap, creating a delightful surprise when Mia returned to grab it. "Look at this silly kitten," Mia laughed, gently nudging Nibbles off the backpack. "You can't come to school with me." Once the kids were off to school, the house quieted down. Mr. Thompson settled into his home office to tackle work emails while Mrs. Thompson spent time tending to her beautiful garden outside. She would often talk to her plants as she watered them, sharing her hopes and dreams for their blooming flowers. Nibbles joined her outside, watching closely as butterflies fluttered around, chasing them in her own playful way. As days passed, the Thompsons enjoyed various activities as a family. Game nights filled with board games and laughter, movie viewing sessions complete with popcorn and snuggles on the couch, or even simple weekend outings to the park where they flew kites or played tag. Nibbles was always around during these moments, but often found herself watching from a distance. "Come join us, Nibbles," Jake would call out whenever he noticed her sitting alone on a cozy chair. The family's laughter would echo, yet the kitten remained unsure if she could fully participate in their fun. Even during dinners filled with chatter and joy as they passed dishes around the table, Nibbles would take her rightful place, a soft cushion under Mia's chair or peeking through Jake's legs. Every once in a while someone would toss a tiny morsel of food her way in jest. "Look, Nibbles loves spaghetti," Jake teased as he watched the kitten nudge a piece of pasta with her tiny paw. His family giggled. They thought it was all in good fun, but still didn't realize how much Nibbles longed for their acknowledgement beyond silly moments. On weekends, they often went on mini-adventures at local fairs or festivals. The kids would bounce from ride to ride while Mr. and Mrs. Thompson soaked in the cheerful atmosphere. Sometimes they would bring back little toys for Nibbles, bright-coloured fish-shaped plushies that would delight her for only a moment before they were forgotten amid more significant happenings of family fun. "Let's take a picture with our new kitten," Mia suggested one afternoon while they were outside enjoying ice cream cones. With Nibbles perched on their laps like it was the most natural thing in the world, they snapped photos that captured smiles brighter than the sun that shone down upon them. The days were filled with happiness. Still, Nibbles couldn't shake off that sense of being slightly invisible amidst the noise of excitement. Yet through all this lively commotion she remained observant and ready, a little watcher who took note of each interaction and playful banter within those four walls. In her heart she felt connected, even though it seemed like their giggles overshadowed her own quiet wishes. As spring melted into summer, everything around the Thompsons continued to grow. Flowers bloomed abundantly in Mrs. Thompson's garden, laughter grew louder in their home, and little Nibbles found herself dreaming of ways she could finally belong, ways she could share in their joyful adventures and perhaps even make an impression of her own. Little did the family know that their tiny kitten was preparing for something remarkable that would soon change how they looked at her forever. Although Nibbles seemed small and silly to the Thompson family, she possessed a bundle of overlooked talents that often went unnoticed. While the family filled their days with fun and laughter, Nibbles was busy honing her skills in secret, driven by her curiosity and the desire to fit in. One sunny afternoon, as Mia was finishing her homework at the kitchen table, Nibbles discovered something fascinating outside. She had ventured to the windowsill where swaying plants caught her eye. They danced gently in the breeze, and as Nibbles crouched low, a sparkle of mischief lit up her tiny face. In a bold leap, she pounced at the fluttering leaves, surprising herself as she landed perfectly on the table. "Ooh, Nibbles, you're such a spy," Mia giggled, clapping her hands as the kitten continued to bat playfully at the dangling greenery. "Who knew you could jump like that?" Despite Mia's praise, it left Nibbles feeling even more unseen. Talk of jumping compared to her larger counterparts felt like no real acknowledgement at all. Still, she wasn't one to give up easily. Later that week during game night, while everyone gathered for lively board games filled with friendly competition, Nibbles discovered another talent. As they played a game that involved moving pieces across the board, Nibbles found herself intrigued by the shiny game tokens. With nimble paws and quick reflexes, she leaped atop the table to join in on the action. "Look, she thinks she's playing too," Jake exclaimed as Nibbles batted one of his tokens toward Mia with a precise swipe of her paw. Mia laughed so hard that she nearly spilled her drink. Maybe we should have her on our team. She's got great strategy. Nibbles felt proud, but still sensed her presence mattered less than the actual game itself. The family delighted in how cute she looked during these antics, without realizing they were catching glimpses of how clever she truly was. As moments unfolded into days, it became apparent that Nibbles had developed more refined skills, making remarkable leaps in agility and mastering stealth from observing everyday life around her. After all their weekend outings and park trips, she was no stranger to running after butterflies nor climbing into boxes where they stored outdoor toys. While out exploring one day with Mrs. Thompson, Nibbles discovered yet another hidden talent, her keen sense of sound. As Mrs. Thompson watered plants under a bright sky filled with chirping birds and buzzing bees, something unique caught Nibbles' ear. A faint scratching noise came from behind the garden shed. Curious as ever, Nibbles scampered over and curiously nudged aside some leaves to investigate further. To her surprise, she uncovered a tiny trapped baby rabbit hiding from sight. Her heart raced as time slowed down. This creature needed help. With determination filling every inch of her being, Nibbles gently nudged at the young rabbit until it moved slightly closer out into safety. Cautiously watching for danger around it while keeping speed low enough so not to scare away its new friend, she instinctively knew how best to encourage trust. Meanwhile, Mrs. Thompson spotted what was unfolding from afar without fully understanding why this tiny kitten seemed fixated on this particular spot. "Mia! Jake! Come look!" Mrs. Thompson shouted excitedly while holding onto some freshly cut flowers. Mia glanced over first. Jake soon followed after hearing their mum's voice carry across backyards ahead, toward where curiosity led them all now gathering around like moths drawn in by light. They gasped as they saw little Nibbles standing defensively against any potential threats, while ensuring their awareness never wavered from an unexpected meeting. A meaningful bond formed between recovering instincts laid bare across many furry paws versus nature, waiting to embrace new friendships within this enchanted garden sanctuary. "Wow, look at this brave little kitten," Jake said in awe as he leaned closer to observe what was happening. "They'd make perfect pals." Mrs. Thompson kneeled down with gentle strokes around both creatures involved, while nurturing this relationship born from bravery, the kind that would leave lasting memories through time spent together, looking after each other without anyone knowing it yet. Nibbles beamed inside. Perhaps her talents were truly special, even if others didn't notice them right away. But little did she know, these moments were only just beginning. With each leap she took or each secret she unveiled under curious eyes watching nearby, she would steadily grow stronger, and soon prove just how remarkable being tiny really could be. One bright Saturday morning, the sun shone brightly over Maple Street as the Thompson family prepared for a day filled with fun. Mia and Jake had convinced their parents to take them to the annual town fair, a lively event filled with colourful rides, games, and delicious treats. The excitement in the air was palpable as the family hurriedly packed their bags with sunscreen, snacks, and of course, a few toys for Nibbles. As they loaded up the car, Nibbles watched from the porch, her little heart fluttering with delight at the idea of the family going on an adventure. She had hoped they would take her along, but it seemed her small size kept her from finding a comfy spot in the trunk with everyone else's things. Instead, they left her behind, assuring her she would have a fun day filled with play when they returned home. Hours later, while the Thompson family enjoyed the fair, laughing on rides and devouring cotton candy, an unexpected storm rolled in over Maple Street. Dark clouds gathered quickly, obscuring the sun and sending wild winds through the fairgrounds. Thunder rumbled across the sky as raindrops began to fall, scattering fairgoers in a frantic rush for cover. Realizing they hadn't brought an umbrella, Mrs. Thompson quickly rounded up her children. "We need to get back to the car," she shouted to Jake and Mia over the noise of the storm. The kids glanced at each other with worry. They were not ready to cut their day short. Meanwhile, back at home, Nibbles sat on the porch watching out into the distance. Suddenly, she sensed something was off. The skies had darkened and raindrops began to hit her fur as she curiously peered around. It wasn't long before she heard loud cracks of thunder and saw flashes of lightning cutting through the sky. Instinct kicked in. She felt a tug deep within her little heart, sensing her family was in danger. Determined to get to them, Nibbles dashed off the porch and through the garden just seconds before a torrential downpour engulfed Maple Street. She loved her family too much to stay behind. This was her chance. Navigating beneath large bushes and dodging puddles, she raced toward the path leading to town. As she ventured down the deserted street, wind howled around her while rain pelted against her tiny body. Despite how small she felt at that moment amid such fierce weather conditions, Nibbles pushed on, not allowing fear to slow her progress. Back at the fairgrounds, the Thompson family struggled to stay together in the chaos of panicked fairgoers scrambling for cover beneath tents and buildings. Fear gripped Mia. She clutched Jake's hand tightly as they squeezed through crowded pathways trying to reach their mother. "Mum, where are you?" Mia shouted, scanning for any sign of her in the now chaotic scene. Just when it seemed like panic would overwhelm them all, Mrs. Thompson's phone buzzed with updates about where other families planned to seek shelter amidst the storm outside. "Let's go hide in that building," she called out, pointing toward a sturdy-looking building nearby that usually served as a restroom, but was now transforming into temporary shelter. They began navigating through flailing arms and startled faces around them, when suddenly a powerful gust of wind knocked over a nearby tent pole where people were huddled. It fell hard and loud, causing cries to erupt once more in distress. In that moment, when fear rippled through the crowd and everyone froze, something magical occurred. Out from nowhere appeared tiny Nibbles. Soaking wet but filled with determination, she bounded through the muddy patch toward Mia and Jake. "Look!" Jake gasped as he recognized their little warrior Kitty making her way toward them despite being soaked head to paw. "Nibbles!" Mia gasped in delight. "How did she find us?" With purpose and precision amongst the tumbling chaos surrounding them, Nibbles weaved between frightened feet directly toward Mia and Jake, who knelt down with bursts of joy sweeping across their faces at this unexpected reunion. "Come on, Nibbles," Mia said affectionately while scooping up their kitten into her arms, just as things around them returned to stormy noise once again. "We'll keep you safe." As they raced towards shelter together, Nibbles nestled tightly within Mia's warm embrace. They realized she'd led them through perilous moments towards safely huddled comfort once more amongst strength built from love's unyielding bond. In that fleeting moment of panic transformed into hopefulness, it became evident just how exceptional this little kitten truly was, not seen merely as a small pet, but rather embraced as family bound, fierce against anything threatening joy between loved ones. Nestled under shelter's roof away from raging winds outside, while rain coursed mercilessly down, the Thompson family huddled together and realized that perhaps this tiny kitten was also their greatest source of bravery among adversity, a small hero arriving unexpectedly just when they needed it most. As the storm raged outside, the Thompson family huddled together under the shelter of a sturdy building, their hearts pounding with both fear and relief at being reunited. Nibbles, still nestled in Mia's arms, shook off the rainwater that clung to her fur. The warm embrace of her family felt like a safe haven against the chaos outside. "Are you okay, little buddy?" Jake whispered as he gently stroked her head. Nibbles purred softly in response, feeling a sense of belonging surrounded by their love. But even as they found comfort in their togetherness, an unsettling tension lingered in the air. As the minutes passed, the storm showed no signs of letting up. Instead, it grew more intense. The wind howled fiercely and rattled the building's roof, making it seem as though nature itself was throwing a tantrum. Suddenly they heard a loud crash outside. Something had fallen over nearby. "What was that?" Mia gasped, wide-eyed as she looked up at her mum with concern. "I don't know. Maybe it's just debris from the fair," Mrs. Thompson replied uneasily. But deep down she felt an unsettling feeling rise within her. Just then, another loud noise erupted, followed by panicked screams from people outside. The family exchanged nervous glances. "We need to check on everyone," Mr. Thompson suggested firmly. "But what if there are more falling things? It's dangerous out there," Jake protested. Nibbles instinctively sensed that this situation demanded action. She could feel the unease radiating from her family and saw worry etched across their faces. In that moment her heart raced, not just from fear but also from a surge of determination to protect them. "I'll go," Nibbles declared silently to herself, as she wriggled out of Mia's arms and leaped to the floor. The family watched in surprise as their tiny kitten darted toward the exit. "Nibbles, no!" Mia cried out in alarm as Nibbles slipped out into the stormy world beyond. Braving the wind and rain once again, Nibbles pressed forward with purpose, Her small frame darted through puddles and debris while she honed in on the source of distress surrounding them. It wasn't long before she arrived at a scene of chaos. A large tent had collapsed nearby, trapping several people underneath it. Without hesitation, Nibbles scurried closer to assess what was happening. She saw frightened faces peering out from beneath flapping fabric and heard cries for help echoing through the storm. In that moment of clarity, she realized she needed to act quickly. Using her agility and stealth learned in countless play sessions around home, Nibbles began climbing over fallen poles and maneuvering between panicked feet expertly, until she reached an opening near where people were stuck underneath. "Help, we can't get out," a voice called desperately. Determined to rally those who felt hopeless beneath that tent, Nibbles began pawing at one edge of the fallen fabric with all her might, while mewing loudly to catch everyone's attention. Her small stature may have seemed insignificant at first glance, but within moments something remarkable happened. Curiosity took hold. "Look, a kitten!" someone shouted amidst feelings of despair. The sight of this fearless little creature shone bright like a beacon through dark clouds surrounding them all. With renewed hope ignited among those trapped beneath, a few hands reached down slowly towards Nibbles's direction, opening up spaces for escape while others cautiously began pulling away heavy materials blocking their paths too. Nibbles kept up her efforts without faltering or retreating, each nudge pushing them closer towards freedom fueled by bravery unknown until now. One by one emerged individuals previously stuck under twisted canvas, emerging into fresh air as gratitude washed over them like rain itself. Finally escaping back towards safety behind sturdy walls surrounding familiar faces, they'd made it back, thanks not only because someone else had rescued them, but due largely in part due to teamwork spurred on by determination, birthed forth from such an extraordinary little hero, their very own Kitten. When Mia saw Nibbles returning triumphantly through wind-blown rain droplets clinging stubbornly against fur, joy surged within every inch of her heart, as powerful realization dawned upon them all. This was no longer just the silly little kitten they often jokingly described, but rather an essential member proving capable beyond expectations set forth previously. Now gathered closely together amidst weary smiles shared between everyone present, the Thompson family embraced each other once more, knowing how special this day would forever be etched deep inside their memories, shaped alongside newfound appreciation for both love shared amongst each other, and for bravery embodied within tiny paws ready whenever needed most. As the storm began to fade, sunlight peeked through the clouds, casting a warm glow over the fairgrounds. The Thompson family, still buzzing with adrenaline from the chaos, gathered together, feeling grateful for their reunion and Nibbles' remarkable bravery. The air was filled with the lingering scent of rain mixed with the sweetness of cotton candy remnants scattered on the ground. Mia knelt down to Nibbles, who was still wet but now brimming with happiness after her heroic act. "You were amazing, Nibbles! You saved those people!" she exclaimed, her voice filled with awe. Jake nodded enthusiastically, his eyes sparkling with pride. "I always knew you were special. You're not just a tiny kitten, you're our little hero." He gently scratched behind Nibbles' ears, and she purred loudly in response. Mrs. Thompson watched this tender moment unfold, her heart swelling with emotion. She remembered how they had often joked about Nibbles being just a silly little pet, something cute to entertain them, but not much else. But today had changed everything. "I think we've all learned something important," she said softly, gathering her children closer. "Nibbles has shown us that bravery comes in all sizes." Mr. Thompson smiled as he crouched beside them, placing a hand on Nibbles' back. "It's true. Sometimes we overlook what's right in front of us because it doesn't fit our expectations. Nibbles may be small, but she's proven today that she has a big heart." The children exchanged glances filled with understanding and newfound respect for their little kitten. They had always loved her for her playful antics and the joy she brought into their lives, but now they realized there was so much more to her than just being cute. Nibbles seemed to sense the shift in the atmosphere around her as she looked up at each family member with bright eyes filled with love and loyalty. She had always known she belonged to this family, but today she had truly found her place among them, not just as a pet, but as an essential part of their lives. As they made their way back toward the car, Mia suggested they stop by one of the nearby booths for some warm hot chocolate to celebrate their adventure together. "And we should get something special for Nibbles too. Maybe a toy or some treats," she proposed excitedly. That sounds perfect, Mrs. Thompson agreed, smiling at her daughter's thoughtful idea. Once they reached the booth, they ordered steaming mugs of hot chocolate topped with fluffy whipped cream, while also picking out a colourful fish-shaped toy for Nibbles. As they waited for their drinks, Jake couldn't contain his excitement any longer. "We need to tell everyone about how brave Nibbles was," he exclaimed. "She saved those people. We should make sure everyone knows that our little kitten is more than just cute." Mia nodded eagerly. "Yes, we can share it on social media and tell all our friends at school." As they chatted animatedly about how to share their story, Mrs. Thompson glanced down at Nibbles resting comfortably in Mia's arms. A warm rush of pride enveloped her heart. This tiny creature had turned their day from one of fear into one of courage and unity. When they finally returned home later that day, the sun began to set behind them, painting the sky in beautiful shades of orange and pink. The family huddled together on the couch under blankets with steaming mugs in hand. It felt like home, a safe haven filled with love. "From now on," Mr. Thompson declared as he gently petted Nibbles' head, "we're going to treat you like the brave little hero you are." "Definitely," Jake chimed in enthusiastically. "No more jokes about you being just a silly kitten." And so it was decided. Nibbles would no longer be viewed merely as a small pet, but as an integral member of the family whose bravery would be celebrated and cherished forever. As evening settled in and laughter echoed through their home once more, Nibbles curled up contentedly in Mia's lap. She felt an overwhelming sense of belonging wrapped tightly around her heart like a warm blanket, a reminder that sometimes even the smallest creatures can make the biggest difference when it matters most. As the days turned into weeks following the stormy adventure, life in the Thompson household returned to its usual rhythm, but everything felt different. Nibbles had transformed from a light-hearted source of laughter into a respected and cherished family member. The children no longer viewed her as just a silly pet. Instead, they admired her courage and determination. Mia and Jake often marvelled at Nibbles' newfound reputation. "You're our hero!" Mia would say with excitement whenever she saw Nibbles practicing her jumps or playfully pouncing on her toys. It was as though the kitten understood the change too, for she seemed more confident and playful, often seeking out her human companions for affection and interaction. One afternoon, while lounging in the living room after school, Mia decided it was time to share their story with friends. She grabbed her tablet and clicked to record a video. With Nibbles perched confidently on her shoulder, she began speaking animatedly about how their little kitten saved lives during the stormy day at the fair. "Hey everyone, you have to hear about my amazing kitten, Nibbles. She's so much more than just cute. She's a hero!" Mia exclaimed, recounting every detail of that fateful day with enthusiasm. As she shared how Nibbles bravely faced the storm and helped rescue people trapped under that tent, Jake chimed in with his own excitement, describing how proud he felt to call her their pet. Their enthusiasm was contagious. Soon enough, their friends were captivated by Nibbles' story. The video made its rounds on social media, earning not only likes but countless comments praising both Mia and Jake for being such proud siblings and truly showcasing Nibbles as a remarkable hero. "Nibbles should be in movies," one comment read. "Next stop, Hollywood." Another joked. The attention and praise brought new energy into the house. Whenever anyone visited, there was always an impromptu showcase of Nibbles' antics, a trick here or a playful leap there, and guests were drawn in by what they now recognized as a lively spirit residing within such a small frame. One particularly sunny Saturday afternoon, when friends came over for playtime in the backyard, Mia thought it would be fun to let Nibbles show off some of her skills. They set up a small obstacle course using cushions and boxes from the family garage. "Ready, Nibbles?" Jake encouraged as he cupped his hands together like a cheerleader on game day. With newfound confidence shining brightly in her eyes, Nibbles eagerly navigated through the obstacles as Mia clapped excitedly behind her, while their friends cheered along. "Look at her go! She's so talented!" someone shouted from among the crowd. Mia couldn't help but beam with pride as she witnessed all those who had once overlooked their petite kitten, seeing beyond just image, to what lay within, bravery wrapped up in sheer delight. Later that evening, when they returned home after playing with friends all afternoon under bright skies filled with laughter echoing around them, it struck Mia once more just how much had changed since that day at the fair. The way people viewed their adorable little companion now held weight, precious moments built upon through magical experiences enjoyed together fostered strong bonds between everyone present whenever engagement flowed back towards discovering each other amid life's chaos. Sitting around the dinner table later that night, Mia lifted her glass of juice high above all others gathered attentively. To our hero, Nibbles, may we always remember that no matter how small someone seems, she stated passionately, before allowing breaths escaping only warmed hearts struggling toward pleasant feelings shared. Felt deeper now than ever before, a reminder worth retaining amongst everyone involved. To which Jake added seamlessly, and never judge anyone based on size alone, because heroes come in all shapes, even if they have paws. This time, laughter-filling expected spaces transcended limitations imposed previously. Inviting acceptance forged anew, amidst gentle smiles recalling joy memories sparked forth forever, anchoring experiences enriched down through furry souls capable of lifting spirits high unto peaks, wherever moments reached across vibrant skies, painting masterpieces unseen within ordinary lives drawn closer together unexpectedly known, alongside tiny paws ready whenever called upon most. Thus began an era in which tiny paw prints left enormous impressions etched forever inside those very hearts, transformed alongside theirs, blurring boundaries once imagined, restoring trust found uniquely intertwined, shaping futures ahead, bonded even stronger, now reaffirmed, connected endlessly, beyond mere reflections, emanating deep significance, veiled throughout recurrent paths yet unnoticed previously. Until today. As the months passed, the Thompson family embraced their transformed life with Nibbles, reveling in the joy that her heroism had brought into their home. Every day felt like a new adventure filled with laughter and love, but now it also came with a deeper appreciation for the little things. Nibbles' bravery had not only proven her worth, but had also shifted the entire family's perspective on what it meant to be strong and courageous. On particularly sunny afternoons, Nibbles would lead the kids on playful chases around the yard, darting through flowers and climbing over garden decorations as if she were still honing her skills. The children laughed and cheered her on, treating these moments as if they were epic quests. They no longer saw her as just a tiny creature, but as a fearless adventurer worthy of applause and admiration. Mia often took it upon herself to document Nibbles' exploits. Armed with her tablet, she created a vlog series titled Nibbles the Brave. Each episode showcased her kitten's antics, from navigating obstacle courses to tackling new toys that arrived each day. With every episode posted, comments poured in from friends and family, who eagerly awaited the next thrilling installment. "Our little superstar," one viewer commented. "Can't wait for the next adventure." Not only did this platform help Mia share Nibbles' story, but it also became an opportunity for her classmates to learn about kindness, how even the smallest among us could make a huge difference. Inspired by their pets' bravery, many kids began to adopt more compassionate attitudes toward others, whether they were pets or classmates who might not fit in as easily. One evening during dinner, as they shared anecdotes about their day, Jake spoke up about something he had observed at school. "You know what? I saw a kid sitting alone during lunch today, and I remembered how Nibbles helped those people at the fair, so I invited him to join us." His voice was filled with pride, and his parents exchanged meaningful glances. "That's wonderful, Jake," Mrs. Thompson praised. "By showing kindness like that, you're following Nibbles' example." The dinner table buzzed with excitement as stories of how each family member was inspired by Nibbles poured forth. Moments where acts of bravery or kindness had made a significant impact on their own lives and those around them. It became clear that the lessons learned from their small kitten extended far beyond their own home. One day, as the summer sun set behind them, painting the sky in vibrant hues of orange and pink, the family gathered outside for a picnic. They spread out a blanket beneath a large tree and filled it with yummy treats, sandwiches, fruits, and of course some special cat treats for Nibbles. "Tonight is all about celebrating our hero," Mia announced joyfully, raising her juice box in a toast. "To Nibbles!" everyone cheered in unison. The little kitten sat proudly among them, accepting rubs and gentle pats from her loving family. As night fell and fireflies began to dance around them, Mr. Thompson reflected aloud. "It's amazing how one event can change everything. We used to laugh at Nibbles for being small. We overlooked her potential because we thought we knew better." "Yes," Mrs. Thompson agreed. "We've learned that size doesn't define strength or courage. Each of us has our unique contributions we can share." The children nodded enthusiastically, their hearts swelling with pride for their kitten and themselves. They realised that true strength comes from within, whether it's rescuing others from danger or extending kindness to those who need it most. That night, as they all cuddled on the couch together watching films, Nibbles nestled comfortably in Mia's lap, purring contentedly, the warmth of love and acceptance wrapped around them like a cosy blanket. In that moment of tranquility, they understood that life is filled with opportunities to show bravery, not only in heroic actions but also through small acts of kindness. The journey ahead was brighter than ever. Nibbles had opened their eyes to see beyond appearances into the heart of what truly matters: love, courage, and connection woven seamlessly between them all. And so began a beautiful chapter for the Thompson family, one where their tiny kitten served not only as their beloved pet, but also as a reminder that true heroism can come from the most unexpected places, even from those who seem small but hold great strength within.